you can see my dog. That's important too. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This video was a requested video by one of my girlfriends to show you guys pretty much all of my plants. I need to water my plants. I need to clean them up a little bit because I've neglected them a bit, so I was like, I'll take you guys with me. I originally had plants in my Bendigo house and I pretty much grew a bit of a jungle, so they've all moved back with me to my parents' place now. They've kind of taken over the place, so I will water them, fertilize them, and clean up some of the older leaves. And once they grow to a really nice size, I try to keep them in their pot because I don't want them to overgrow as well. But some of my plants are actually like taking over and I'm like, okay, I need to somehow control this. This one is my Chinese money plant. It started off like down here, so it has grown massively. It probably started smaller than these ones. This one drinks up a lot of water, so I actually water it from below, so it has a bit more water that it can drink up over time. I use the Power Feed plant food. It's just a fertilizer for indoor plants. It works really well, like all my plants have been loving it. 3 squirts. Try to get it nicely near the soil or near the root. I look out to see if there are any dead leaves. I've got a few here. A few dead leaves, and I try to clean it up. A lot of these plants do come from areas that are a bit more humid, a bit more tropical, and being in Melbourne we don't have that, so I do like to give it a nice spray. These ones do like to be turned around, based around. They like to turn towards where the light's coming from, so I do have to rotate it every now and then. See, my peace lily is really needing water. There are a few leaves that need to be cut out. Normally I'd be able to pull them out. It's going to it. I definitely want that side to grow a bit more because ask me how much water my plants need. I could not tell you. I've had these ones for years, so I kind of like know how much they need and I can gauge it now. Back in the day, I would say that I would give them a full drench and I'd like put them in the sink so that they would kind of get rid of some of that water as well, and then I'd bring them back. It's just because I've gotten used to what they need now. Let me introduce you guys to my problem child. This is my fiddle leaf and it has gone through the trenches trying to grow it, but now it is a tree. It's taller than me. Definitely done well. I'm just going to water it from the bottom, so I water it in the tray. I'll also give it some fertilizer and things as well. It's already soaked up quite a bit, so I feel like I need to give it some more. Pretty sure it came with mealybug, and I was so scared that it was gonna like ruin all my other plants. I had to quarantine it, and I don't know whether like you're meant to do this or not, but I literally used like the alcohol wipes. I got them from the hospital, and I literally cleaned all of the leaves because I needed to get rid of the mealybug. The other thing I did, which was probably the thing that changed its outcome, was I cut off a branch, and that was a really scary moment to my life when I cut off that branch because I really wanted my fiddle leaf to do well, and it most definitely wasn't. I think we have turned a corner. What I meant by watering it in the tray is literally in this part. As you can see, it's like drank up a lot of that water, but this beautiful problem child is now taller than me. So I showed you guys my problem child. I have to show you my spider plant. Yeah, I really reap the fruits of my labor with this one because it gives me so many little babies. So these are its little babies that I've now just had to disregard because there's so many. Like I used to propagate them because I felt like it's just really sad to kill off the babies. Now I've just had so many of them and I can't think of anyone else to give them to. So if any of you guys want some spider plants, let me know. I propagate these and there's so many. Let me introduce you to the biggest plant inside the house. This one is huge. So you can probably see this is my height and that's how tall that plant is. It's also growing off to the side, so I really need to bring it back this way somehow. And it doesn't need a lot of water. It's been doing so well. You can probably see it's actually growing a few extra branches, which is absolutely crazy that it's grown more branches because I didn't really think that it could do that. So this is one of its baby branches and this is another baby branch that's doing pretty well. The other two branches have grown taller than me. They're also still growing. doing its own thing. Does a really good job and is super aesthetic. Also doesn't need a lot of water. The next section of our house involves these guys. This is a fern and it is a bit of a struggle. I think without the right amount of water, it just keeps like shedding leaves. I haven't really figured out the happy medium for it. Bring this down. You can probably see how there's like little parts that are browning, and yeah, so I try to get rid of it to allow for the leaves that are doing all right to keep going. But it's hard because I feel like it's not browning everywhere. It's just parts of some leaves as well. People have previously asked me where this stand is from, and it's like my open pantry space. It's from Temple & Webster. Absolutely love it. This is my devil's ivy. It is huge, as you can see. It's absolutely huge. It just keeps growing, and this is the one I propagate most of my devil's ivy from. So take care of this one. A lot of my other devil's ivy I don't really take care of because I just feel like, oh, I can propagate it anyway. So not a very good way of looking at it, but yeah, it also like makes the space super green and super pretty, so. Ta-da! I call this one, or two, there's two plants here, my pride and joy. I will show you guys a video from when I brought this one back from Bendigo to Melbourne, but it was a bit of a nightmare. Some of the leaves literally got burnt because it was like a hot day in the sun. I've got this one leaf that's not doing too well, and I don't know why. I don't really know how to save it either, and I'm hoping this one doesn't go along the same path. This one has come from, oh, they're both from the same plant. Sometimes what it does is it like kills off at one leaf for another leaf to make way for another one. But anyways, this is my pride and joy. It's grown tremendously. If you look at these leaves, like they're massive. I would like it to grow bigger, but it doesn't have the best spot in the house. And I can't think of any other spot for it. Like when we were in the Bendigo house, it definitely had a spot that's much nicer. A lot of sun was coming in, but yeah, my absolute pride and joy. This one definitely needs a new pot though. If my Monstera was my pride and joy, this one's like the opposite because it's super leggy and it's just not doing well. We got it around the same time that we got my dog, and I feel like my dog just kept like knocking it, and so the leaves, some of them have died and it's just become super leggy. But the ones we're really going to talk about are these ones here, because I've got some more devil's ivy, I've got a marble queen, and then I've got some more spider plant, and I don't know what that one's called, but so I'm just going to water some of these ones here in the little tray so it can have some time to soak up all of the water. And then those ones are a bit more tricky because I'm not tall enough, so I just kind of guesstimate how much ever I might need. And if that one was hard, this one's even harder because it doesn't even have a proper tray. And this one needs a bit of a cleanup, but I don't think I'm gonna do it today. I've got a plant that I need to repot today as well. I've also got a few succulents that I actually got as gifts, so I don't actually know what they are. And this one's another gorgeous succulent that is doing some random things. I also do propagate some of my plants. Clearly I have neglected this one for so long, so I'm just going to clean it up and change the water. These roots are still doing pretty well. I don't really propagate these to actually repot anywhere. I feel like they look really cute just in jars as well. I've got this one in the bathroom that it's been propagated and it's been here for a little while. I cleaned it up the other day and the roots are looking pretty good too. The last part, but probably one of the most important parts of plant care, is being able to repot your plants. Hi, Pepper. I've got my brother's girlfriend's plant, hi buddy, that I need to repot. So it's actually in a smaller pot than this. So it's in this tiny little pot here and it's definitely overgrown it. And I'm gonna repot it into this one so it's got a bit more space. I've just got in my cacti potting mix, my perlite. This is probably really tight and it's probably just got normal potting mix that holds a lot of moisture in. And what we want for plants is we want it to breathe. We want the water to be able to drain easily. So I'm just gonna put a few things into this pot already to mix it all up. We don't have a lot in there. Just mix it all up. Hopefully you don't have a dog that completely stuffs up the process. So hopefully you've got a decent height so that this plant can still sit up nice and tall. So I'm going to pull this plant out of this pot now and see how it's going. Ta-da! Yeah, so that was pretty easy. I don't want it to sit that way either, so what I'll normally do is just kind of like root it in There's definitely enough potting mix for it in there. I just need to like maneuver it in the right way. And we don't want the potting mix to come right to the top of the pot. We want to have some space for obviously water. We want to top up soil. So that's looking pretty good. It's not the most stable in there, and I feel like that's because it wasn't super stable in that pot either. I can't really use this pot anymore, but I'll use it for propagation. We may have overwatered that just a little bit, and it is ready to be picked up by my brother's girlfriend.